Hello friends, in this lecture we shall discuss GST Constitutional 101st Amendment Act 2016. This is a very important piece of legislation so far Indian economy is concerned. We are going to see the various provisions relating to this Constitutional Amendment Act. Friend, it contains the provisions which are very essential for implementation of goods and services tax regime in India. The government wants to come out with GST regime in India and to make provision for that. This is very important act. It is the essential one. This act brings amendments in the constitution, and by amending the constitution, simultaneous powers are conferred on parliament and state legislatures, whereby they will be able to make law for levying GST simultaneously on all transactions of supply of goods and services. The President of India on September 8, 2016 gave assent to this act, which became the GST Constitutional 101 Amendment Act 2016. Although it was 122nd Amendment Bill, but after assent given by the President, it became the GST Constitutional 101st Amendment Act 2016. The Act contains 20 amendments. So there are 20 sections, and central government has appointed September 16, 2016 as the date for provisions of the sections 1 to 20 except section 12 to come into force. As regards section 12, the present order of September 15, 2016 has confirmed constitution of GST Council. So this means the act stands notified. Now let us see the various sections of the act one after one. Section 2. So there is a new article 246A, and it makes enabling provisions for union and state governments with respect to GST legislation. According to these provisions, the central GST, that is CGST, and state GST, that is SGST, this shall be made by central government and state government respectively. So CGST will be enacted by central government, and SGST it will be enacted by respective state governments. As regards interstate GST, that is IGST, this shall be enacted by central government. Section 3 to 5, they simply make certain consequential amendments to Article 248, 249 and 250 because of the amendments made through this Constitutional Amendment Act. Section 6. Section 6 omits excise duties on medicinal and toilet preparations from preview of power of the central government. So presently, levying of excise duty on medicinal and toilet preparations falls within powers of central government. Since these are now proposed to be included subsumed in GST, hence this article has been omitted. As regards section 7, it omits Article 268A, which empowered the central government to levy tax on services, because now the services tax is being brought under GST. So these have been omitted. Here the excise duty on medicinal and toilet preparation, it is going to be part of GST. Here the services tax, it is going to be part of GST. Hence these provisions have been omitted. Section 8, it amends Article 269, and this article provides for taxes levied and collected by union but assigned to the states. So the present amendment has been made consequential to insertion of new Article 269A, which provides for levy of goods and services tax on supply in the course of interstate trade or commerce. So this primarily relates to interstate trade or commerce. Section 9. So this section inserts new Article 269A, which provides for GST on supplies in the course of interstate trade or commerce, which shall be levied and collected by central government, and this will be apportioned between the union and states on the recommendations of GST Council. So the interstate trade or commerce on which GST will be levied, that will be collected by the central government, but it will be apportioned between the union government and the state government, and the ratio will be fixed by the GST Council. So the portion which will be given to states will not be forming part of Consolidated Fund of India. It further provides that Parliament may formulate the principle for determining the place of supply, and when a supply of goods or of services or both takes place in the court of interstate trade or commerce. So this makes additional provisions relating to making principles or policy. Section 10. It amends Article 270, which provides that goods and services levied and collected by Government of India shall also be distributed. And Section 11, it amends Article 271. It puts restrictions on powers of Parliament to levy surcharge on the GST. So Parliament will not be having the power to levy any surcharge on GST. So presently different type of surcharge can be levied by the Parliament, but on GST the Parliament will not be able to levy any surcharge. As regards Section 12, so there will be insertion of Article 279A, and it makes provision for GST Council. So this council, it will consist of chairperson, who will be the Union Finance Minister. Another Union Minister of State in charge of revenue or finance will be member of this council. In addition, the minister in charge of finance or taxation, or any minister nominated by each state, will also be member of this council. So this council will be having representatives from central government and representatives from state government. What will be the functions of this council? Friends, these are various functions, various issues with which the GST Council will deal with. So you can just pause the video and go through these functions for information. Section 13. So this is simply the consequential amendment to Article 286 because of other amendments. As regards Section 14, it amends Article 366. According to the amended provisions, only alcoholic liquor for human consumption has been excluded from ambit of GST. Other forms of alcohol like alcohol for industrial use and medicinal and toilet preparation containing alcohol falling in the taxing domain of central government have been included in GST. So alcohol liquor for human consumption that has been excluded from this, but other forms of alcohol have been included in GST. Section 15. It amends Article 368 and provides any modification in GST Council shall require the ratification by legislature of one half of the states. It is on similar lines on which the GST Constitutional Amendment 10 First Amendment Act has now been passed. Section 16. It empowers the District Council for an autonomous district to have the power to levy and collect taxes on entertainment and amusements within such districts. So there will be District Council, and for an autonomous district they will be having powers to levy and collect the entertainment tax and amusement tax, but within that district itself. Section 17. It amends the 7th schedule to make the consequential amendments in the Union list and state list entries. Section 18. It provides for the mandatory compensation to states for 5 years for loss of revenue on account of introduction of goods and services tax. With introduction of GST, certain states may lose some revenue and certain states will gain the revenue. And to make good the loss of revenue to those states, so compensation will be provided for 5 years. And it will be for loss of revenue because of introduction of GST. Section 19. It prescribes a time frame of 1 year, and during this period the subsuming of different indirect taxes into GST will take place, and it will enable the competent legislature to amend or repeal their existing law to pave the way for imposition of state GST in the state. So in this way, a 1 year time frame has been given to states to subsume the indirect taxes into GST and accordingly make amendment or repeal their existing law for implementation of state GST. And Section 20. It gives powers to the President to remove any difficulties within a period of 3 years. So all these important amendments have been made through this GST Constitutional 101st Amendment Act 2016. Friends, I hope the contents of this lecture will benefit you, and I thank you for watching this video. Thank you once again.